Hello there. You may be asking who this Mr. D is and what this website is all about. Well, let me start with that Mr. D stands for David Sharton, a substitute of Seventh-day Adventist Church. I have been teaching for over 30 years to the youth and to the adults in the field of animation, computers, and software design. But 10 years ago, God inspired me to direct my attention on youth, and I've been doing that through the schools, of the academies, the churches, and so forth. Mr. D came to be about 10 years ago when he was teaching at an academy for the conference and started using the abbreviation that uh, that we call now Mr. D. Then, when he was at Oceanside Academy several years back, he was recognized from a graduating class and was put in the yearbook. This felt very good. He liked that. So, since then, at every school he teaches, he uses the name Mr. D. And the children relate to him by that character or that individual in their classroom. Well, then, why am I doing a website for youth? The youth became the youth become children to Mr. D once they're his students, and he cares and he loves them for the rest of their lives. I find Mr. D the desire to learn and have fun as an adult, to listen, to be there with them. That's important to me. I treat the children like my 6 grandchildren. I take care of them with my wife as they become the family of Mr. D. Also has a couple of rules that have come by watching these children is that as his character, he's always portrayed the non-negative attitude, a positive attitude, an attitude that shares the love of Jesus with each other. The goals of Mr. D will to continue to bring hope and positive action as long as his body holds out. There may be a question of what's meant my body hold out. Well, Satan does most anything to make our lives terrible by taking ones from us that we love, causing viruses like COVID to destroy people who love each other. I've experienced since I've decided and dedicated my life to God and the youth and to stop thinking of myself. I've gotten cancer. I've had a knee replacement. I've had open heart surgery. I have no idea what else may happen. Easier things with more fun, with Mr. D, will try to bring God's way into their body, the Holy Spirit. Before I found out I had kids, Mr. D was inspired to become a youth leader called a master guide. After he chose being a master guide, then he had all these problems. Well, that seems awful strange, huh? Uh, a blessing like being a master guide, and then you have all those things that happen to you. You can almost die. Not counting near accidents I've had that are unexplainable. But after all the work, those 3 years, becoming a master guide, he was invested November through 2021. That was a good feeling. Very, very good feeling. It was an experience invested in front of all his students and all his friends. And I believe that the youth had a positive experience like he did too, myself. I thank God for this. But you know what? You can't say no. It's like Noah. I'm sure Noah said no. An old man told he had to build an ark. An ark is going to take forever with tools he didn't have. He would have said no. It doesn't seem like that works very well. So God told Noah to build an ark, and it took him 120 years. I am sure he told God he was old. I'm sure that he'd rather be doing other things. But would he have lived that 120 years? Would he have died? Or would we have all died in the flood? These are questions that we can ask God when we get to heaven. How long does Mr. D go? Well, I think only God knows that. Only God. This website is designed to share stories, crafts, possibly, honors. Honors. The honors are tied to a group of children that call themselves the Pathfinders in the Seventh day Adventist Church. The organization is similar to the Boys and the Girl Scouts, but with God as the head and not man. The organization, I, Mr. D, plan on develop on this website honors, like merits, for these children to bring them closer to God, to make them understand that God's in everything we do. I feel this website will share the strange and the weird things that I, Mr. D, have experienced along with my wife and shared with other students in stories in classes and with children that don't know me and will become aware of me. Please review the website. Remember that it's made up of several sections. I should have another video that's going to tell you the different parts and their impact on the students. I hope you enjoy it. I don't know how long I'll be doing it. But Mr. D, I hope, is here to stay. And I don't see it. I'll introduce it next time. A little secret. You take care. God bless you. Still working on how to turn this computer off.